Hey guys! Hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Today we're going to be eating Tim Ho Wan. And Tim Ho Wan is a dim sum restaurant with a Michelin star. And we're going to be trying the 4 Heavenly Kings. These to-go boxes are a little bit deep. Can you see it properly? And on each box it says, best consumed in 1 hour. Let's put these guys on plates, shall we? Pyong! This is the Tim Ho Wan menu. These here are the 4 Heavenly Kings. Why are they called the 4 Heavenly Kings? I'm guessing those are the signature items and they want to bring the customer's attention to that area. This one right here is the famous baked bun with barbecue pork. Tim Ho Wan has branches worldwide and I tried this one in Singapore before and it was definitely the Heavenly King. This one's a radish cake, steamed egg, vermicelli roll with pig's liver, shumai. That one's not a Heavenly King. Just because it's not titled as the Heavenly King doesn't mean it doesn't have a heavenly taste. And we got 2 little bowls of dessert. This one is, where is it on the menu? Okay, this one is Tonic Medlar and Osmanthus Cake. Osmanthus? Mango Sago Pomelo. All foods are time sensitive, but this dessert in particular, I was told that I should eat it within 30 minutes, otherwise it'll melt. Now, when I was waiting for this at the restaurant, all this food was sitting for 10 minutes and they didn't give it to me. And I was like, why? You said this is time sensitive, I want my food ASAP. So let's have this first, even though this is dessert. Thankfully, it's not liquefied yet. Okay, the outside surface, because it is a jello, it is glares. It glares at you. And then inside, you see goji berry. It looks very floral. If I were to look at this and not know it was a food, I would think it's soap. I can't wait. Oh. Oh, it's like, it's a very light flavor, so mild that you should not eat anything sweet before this. You get the texture, the little bit crunchy texture of the goji berry. The ingredients inside the jelly are a little bit more rugged, and the jelly, well, is jelly. Anyway, you can make this at home. 3 pieces of the jelly is 70 baht. That's like about $2.10-ish. Currency conversions are always changing, but that's what it is-ish today. And I could imagine this being sold at a fancy tea shop. That is barely sweet. It's like 5% sweetness. What's next? What's next? Ah! Okay, I know the pork bun is so good and it's been a while since I had that, so let's get a bite of that one. Let me show you a close-up. It looks plain Jane on the outside, and there's the butt. It looks nice and toasty, like it's been sun tanning on the beach. Smells a little bit buttery. Tastes sweeter than it smells. The inside is where all the flavor is waiting for you. The color inside is red-orange. More orange than my nails. I got them done today. At the same place I got my haircut today, I figured since I'm gonna get my haircut and they're gonna style it for me, I might as well film a mukbang today. It snows while you eat it. Crumbs fall down. Shamelessly. This pork bun is like a person who looks so calm and peaceful, but you hang out with them and you're like, oh, you're a wild child. Like, where'd you come from? You're a freak of nature, but I like it, you know? That one is so easy to eat. However, if you don't like sweet things, then you might not like that one. You eat it as a food, but then because it is sweet, sweeter than the actual dessert, you start thinking, maybe this is more like dessert. Since this is sweet, shall we do something savory? Let's go to the neighbor, the shumai. Pork dumpling with shrimp. And on top, there's a goji berry. And on the sides, we have folds. Some little drapey action going on. And we take a bite. Very easy to bite into. Smooth. And you get these little chunks of the shrimp in there. Inside looks quite plain. Beige. With like little specks of black. I'm guessing that is pepper. Black pepper. Now, how does it taste like with a little piece of goji berry? Can't really taste the goji berry because it's quite small. And the rest of the shumai is much more flavorful. And the goji berry is more for decoration. Okay, like this one has a very small goji berry. It's like almost like it's not even there. So see, if you look at it, it looks plain. But adding that little red goji berry adds oomph. It brings up the notch of the presentation. So they gave us 3 pork buns, 4 pieces of shumai, and the 4 pieces of shumai cost 120 baht. There's a lot of other things I wanted to order from this menu, but you know, they put on 10% service charge and then a 7% VAT on top of this. It was takeout, but they still charged all that. So it ended up buying all this cost me 811 baht. That's approximately $24 USD. Alright, so we have some sauces. I'm guessing these guys go with these here. But we're gonna first, this round, we're gonna try everything virgin as is. Honor it for what it is before putting makeup on their faces. This time let's try the vermicelli roll with pig's liver. This guy right here. Now if we pick it up, it's very bouncy, and ooh, it's ripping apart in half now. So let's give it a shot, yeah? Much like the shumai, it's very soft, a little bit jelly. There's a strong herb in that. I don't think it's cilantro. I think that might be mint. Okay, so for those of you who are new to the term acquired taste, basically it's something that not naturally everyone is gonna like. Like cilantro is one of those things that's acquired taste. Durian, if you're born and raised in Southeast Asia, a lot of people like durian, but for Westerners it is considered acquired taste. To acquire is to get, so it's a taste that you get over time. You get used to it, or you become acquainted with it, and then you start liking it. The flavor of this is not too heavy, and that herb does bring a freshness to it. This is definitely something that must go with the sauce. Actually, okay, first round is virgin. So let's go to the turnip cake. I think I need some tea with this. I'm gonna make some ginger tea. Alright, so this is supposed to be dried ginger and powdered. 100% ginger, no added sugar, and I'm gonna use 2 pouches. While the water is boiling, I just want to tell you, this is my 3rd time in Bangkok as I filmed this mukbang. I'm at my 2nd accommodation, and tomorrow I'm going to switch over to my 3rd accommodation and stay there for about 5 days, and then go to a hotel for 1 night near the airport, and then fly to Hong Kong. I have family there. No matter how long you stay in one country or one city, you cannot know it 100%. You could feel familiar and comfortable. You could get comfortable with it, just like anyone, any close friend in life. However, things are always changing, you know? Like I used to live in LA for 7 years and I started to get comfortable there, but I stepped away for 1 year and so many things changed. There's new restaurants, there's new people, old friends that moved out, and even some old friends that moved in. All these moving parts really alter the feeling of a city for you personally. And also, depending on which neighborhood you live in, it'll change the way you see the city. Maybe not 100%, but maybe 10%, 30%. It is a factor. This jelly's still holding up pretty well. Good endurance, good stamina. Okay, I am filming on a couch currently, so I probably might not be so stable if I set it on here. So I'll put it on the ground. Oh, you want to see my setup today? All right. This camera is set on a metal drawer, which is on an ironing board, which is on a sofa, but this part folds up and it becomes like where you lean your back against. And then let me pull back out here. And I'm getting all the natural lighting from the outside. And the outside, this is the patio area with the washer, and it's double windowed. So it's very quiet in this side of the room, whereas the bedroom, it's only one window. Ooh, that's hot. I don't want to burn my taste buds off. Shall we have some of the pan-fried radish cake? It's a mini pyramid. 3 of them are stacked on top of each other. Nearly perfect squares each piece. I'm gonna cut it up, and it cuts very easily. Okay, cutability. This radish cake cuts the easiest of all of these guys here. That breaks apart so easily. Senior citizen friendly. However, once in a while there's a little piece that you have to give it a little extra attention. Oops. In terms of texture, it is grandma friendly, but when you're biting into it and then it falls down, it's extra work. So if you're grandma and eating this, maybe you put your hand like this so that if it falls, you just go vacuum it up. You see those dark specks? Those are little pieces of protein, but there's not very many in it. Enough to keep you satisfied, but not so much where it's like, ah, oh, stop it. This one is quite on the bland side as well, but it is savory, lightly savory. Being at this particular accommodation, there's a street, one street over, there's a market with a lot of fresh produce and street food. But it's not a famous market where, you know, if you Google like Thai market, that place is not gonna pop up. I only found out about that place because I'm next to it and because I walk by it. And also some of the restaurants here, they're not like #1 on TripAdvisor. You know, they might be rated number 500 or like even number 5,000. But just because it's rated 5,000 doesn't mean it's a bad restaurant. It just means that not many people know about it, or it's fairly new. It's marketing. You know, not all restaurants have the best marketing. So it's kind of cool if you stumble upon a really delicious restaurant and you write that first review. There's a joy in trying something that is not popular and not known. Some people don't like to take that risk, but some people love it. Some people find it akin to an archaeological dig. Let's try the steamed egg cake, one of the heavenly kings. Just take a little corner. I find that sweeter than this jelly, the dessert jelly we had. This jelly is, to me, in my opinion, it is fancy. If you look closely at the texture of this egg cake, you see these holes. It gives it character, and you see these lines here. They remind me of stretch marks. You know, stretch marks have not so great reputation. People often try to get rid of stretch marks, or they just despise them. But you know, there is a beauty in the stretch mark. There is beauty in wrinkles. And if life gave me a menu and told me, would you rather become this kind of 80-year-old who has perfect skin, very beautiful, or would you want to be this other 80-year-old, not as beautiful because looks a little aged, but has some of the most wow, like crazy, interesting, wise stories, filled with adventure and have been to places? I have to go with that second dish. If you want to have an adventure, you're not gonna necessarily have an adventure in the house, you know? Sometimes you gotta go out and meet people, and of course that means being exposed to vitamin D, aka the sun. And of course that means, oh, your skin might age a bit because it is exposed to the sun. All right, let's have a little bit more. I can't talk. Let's have some more of this egg cake. Ooh. Quite cushiony. Just the right amount of sweet. It almost looks like a carrot cake, color-wise. Actually, this ginger tea, I quite like it with this egg cake. Oh, whenever tea comes into the equation of food, I feel like it amplifies things. I feel like it elevates the mood. Oh, and then let's have it with some jelly. I recommend eating the jelly with a spoon, not a fork. I shredded that jelly to bits with a fork. Oh, we gotta still try the Mango Sago Pomelo. This guy is very yellow. Oh, I get the mango feels. This one is very drippy. So when the jelly is round spheres, and then you get these pieces that are more geometric. And there's something else that almost looks like chopped cabbage. That's the sweetest of all these guys here. Sweeter than the Heavenly Kings. This one shouts the loudest of all these dishes. It's not screaming, but it is shouting. There's a little bit of a sour citrus aspect to it. My chin feels wet. I got decorated by the mango. Round 2 is pairing the foods with the sauces. Now I want to talk to you guys about hate comments. And nobody likes to be hated. Well, maybe it's a fetish for some people, I don't know. There's all kinds of people in this world. Wow! I originally thought that was gonna be soy sauce, but wow, you get a whiff of that and it really would clear your sinuses, whatever. If you're sick, you have a whiff of it, it just like everything exits. I wonder if it tastes like what it smells like. That is powerful. Wow, it's like this, it's spicy. Like every time you have a little taste of it, right? It just like surprises you again. This is other sauce. Sweet, but definitely not as powerful as this guy. I believe I have over 500 videos on YouTube right now across multiple channels. And of course I'm gonna have some hate comments. And you might wonder, how do I deal with it? Well, here's the thing. A lot of times you have no idea who these people are. Sometimes some of the rudest things someone says and totally not practical, like you're like, where did this come from? And the thing is, we all have haters at some point in our life. Even if you're perfect by society's standards, someone's gonna hate you because you're perfect. Whether you're smart or beautiful, like whatever great qualities you have, someone's always gonna hate on you. Sometimes you might remind it's getting very sunny here. I need to pull back this table or couch. Where are we? Well, anyhow, let's have a bite of one of these guys with the sauce. Let's try with the less surprisey sauce. Okay. Now, this sauce contains more stuff in it. It's chunky. It looks more like tomato sauce. So we're talking about haters and hate comments. Yeah, so you might be a sweet person or whatever kind of person you are. You might remind someone of someone else that they don't like. So for example, let's say I have a sister and she is a wonderful person and she is so sweet. And if I meet someone who looks like my sister, then I already have some sort of kind feelings potentially for that person. However, if my sister was cruel, she was cold-hearted and like very judgmental, and if I meet someone who looks like my sister or even says one statement that reminds me of my sister, then I might judge them and be like, I don't like this person. Sometimes in life there are resemblances of certain people and we might prejudge them from a prior experience. Does that make sense? Another example is, let's say I had the pork bun at another restaurant before, but it was terrible. It was super gross. So if I were to go to Tim Ho Wan and I'm like, I don't want to order that pork bun, even if it's famous, you know, because of a previous experience. And this goes with relationships too. If you had a bad previous relationship with someone, you might be jaded. And anyone who reminds you of your ex, you might turn the other way and start walking. Just because someone looks like someone you know doesn't mean they're gonna have the exact same personality. Their upbringing may be completely different. And the way they think, the city they lived in, might be 180 degrees from this other person you know previously. In terms of, oh, let's have another bite of this pork bun, yeah? In terms of hate comments, right? And you don't know who's behind the comment. And sometimes there are fake profiles, fake names, usernames, fake profile picture. So even if they say their name is something like, I'm gonna randomly make something up here. Joseph Bizarro. Let's say there's a person named Joseph Bizarro, but in real life, the Joseph Bizarro online, he has a totally different name. But he used someone else's identity maybe. And took another person's photo from online. So when you get a hate comment on YouTube, sometimes you may think, wow, it sounds like a 5th grader. The way they present their argument and the way they criticize. But that actually may not be a 5th grader. It might be a 50-year-old with the maturity of a 5th grader. And the thing is, this is not just with YouTubers, because many people have Instagram accounts and like Twitter and like all the social media, and especially if you don't private it, then anyone, the public, has access to it. So you're open to getting hateful comments. You know, I think one of the biggest hate comments I get is people saying I have a big head or I have a big face. And the thing is, I already knew that. I've been living with this big face for like almost 30 years. And I'm cool with it. I know my head is bigger than the average person. But what is average? Because depending on where you're from, the meaning of average changes. Oh, when I'm in America, people would say oh, you're small, you're petite. But when I went to Singapore, I was not considered small petite. I was considered average or even a little bigger than average. My whole body size. And then a long time ago, when I went to Macau, there were men who were a head shorter than me. So then I felt like a giant there. Let's have another shumai. Over time, the outside of that one gets dry, but when you put it in your mouth, your saliva rehydrates. What I don't understand is this side is still curly, but this side, like, what happened? It got straighter, way faster than this. You know, when hair is curled like this, it makes me think the strands look like a DNA structures. On the to-go box, it says, pork buns are best eaten on the day of purchase. If refrigerated, set oven from medium to low heat for 5 minutes before enjoying. I'm starting to get quite full. In the previous mukbang, I filmed Thai convenience store food. And after I filmed that, I felt so sick. And the next day, I felt like I had a cold. You know, I had a fever, and then I got dizzy. And then my vision got faint. Like at times when I get up from sitting down, the sides would, I would get black specks into my vision from the sides and then go like this. And then my vision will come back. It's like vignette speckles. So it goes to show you how unhealthy refined carbs are. I did overdo it. You know, like the original form of mukbang is like doing live stream and eating everything, finishing everything. But if I finished everything in the Thai convenience store food mukbang, then I would have got super sick. Because I think the thing is, like, if I filmed it 1 year ago, I might not have gotten sick. I think my body is still recovering from dengue fever. So if I overdo on anything like exercise or eating, then I fall sick easily. There's a piece of meat in that just won't break apart no matter how much you chew on it. Actually, okay, about the haters topic, I'm not done yet. I want to mention one thing. So I was saying, like, sometimes how you look like or like the way you act might remind someone else of someone else. And on my Instagram, someone said, I watch you because you remind me of my crush. So whenever I miss my crush, I watch your videos and I look on your social media. And I was like, what? Thanks, crush, for looking like me, because you're bringing in a pretty loyal viewer. And I hope that this guy continues to like you for a long time to come. And I just thought it was pretty funny how he was saying, I look like his crush, so that's why he watches my stuff. The sun is continuing to move and casting weird shadows onto the food. So let's bring this couch in closer into the kitchen area. Let's have some more of this radish cake. A part of me is very glad and relieved to be going back home very soon, within 2 weeks-ish. Am I doing the math correctly? I'm not sad to leave Asia, but I feel like there's so much still I need to do before I go. Like in Cambodia, I was sick half the time, so I didn't get to see all of the temples. I gotta go back again. According to a source I read online, there are 4 strains of dengue fever, and I got one kind. And so for about 9 months, no matter what other 3 strains of dengue fever get into my system, I'm not affected by it. I won't get the fevers and all those symptoms. However, after that passes, the 3 other strains, I could be very affected, and it could be fatal the second time around as well. However, the first strain that I got, that cannot affect me again. In a way, I feel like I got a vaccine but I really had to work for it. I'm gonna think positive. So I feel like for the next 9-ish months, I should just go to all the countries where you could get dengue fever, because I'm immune to it right now. And I do really want to go home, see my mama, see my family and friends, catch up with them. And sometimes what always makes me sad is like, I have some really good friends, like for example back in Los Angeles, and when I go back to see them, so much has changed in their life, and I'm like, where have I been? You know, we're all so busy doing our own thing. It's hard to keep up with every single friend. Like no matter how dear they are to you, everyone just gets occupied in their life, and they don't necessarily find the need to update everyone constantly. Like I'm one of those people, I don't need to tell every single person like, hey, this is happening to me right now, oh my god, you know? It's just like, if I happen to be talking to you, I'll let you know. You know, everyone has a different definition of what a best friend is. Where's my tea? Where's my tea? Everyone has a different definition of what a best friend is, what a mother is. It's all they're everyone's personal standard. And when I was younger, when I was in middle school, and there's less water in here now, so I don't feel as afraid putting it on the couch. When I was in middle school, a best friend to me meant talking to them every day, chatting with them online, calling them for an hour, and just being really into each other's lives. And we had the time to do that back then as a middle schooler, and just forming like a really strong, tight-knit group. That meant a lot to me when I was young. And then in high school, I started getting more focused into art and being creative and trying to figure what college I wanted to go to and for what. And then people also started to get more into academics, like trying to study for the test, like the SAT. So like forming that group was less of a priority, and the meaning of best friend was like, I didn't even think about it much. But now to me, meaning of a best friend is not calling each other every day, texting every day. And some people think I have a lot of best friends. I actually have 2 best friends. And I don't expect any friend to give me a lot of attention. And that stresses me out. You know, when someone gives me too much attention. I don't know, how do you guys feel? Do you get stressed out too if you get too much attention? If I were a bunny and people kept touching me all the time, I'd be like, stop it! Stop it! I think I'd be a cranky bunny. Can you imagine like if a bunch of kids ate cake with their hands and then started petting you? And it's like, how many times do I have to groom myself today? Wow, this is an ambitious sun. Oh, because the sun is starting to set now. And I have no room. This is a wall right here, so I cannot pull back anymore. I can pull the dishes back a little bit. You know, there's so many things I still want to film in Thailand and in already the countries I visited. And of course, I love to try different foods and I wanted to show them to you guys. But for me, I have a routine. Like, I cannot film every single meal every single day and maintain good health, because sometimes when I'm featuring street food, I will eat many variety and I'm gonna overeat and I'll be very full. And if I did that every single day, not only will my stomach pretty much will go berserko on me, I need to have days where I just eat completely no sugar and very calm food. So actually, let me show you what I eat when I cook at home. Oh, my leg is falling asleep. Alright, so last night I cooked up quinoa, carrots, bell pepper, and oyster mushrooms, and I also put some garlic in that. I bought a nice, beautiful piece of broccoli, but you know what? There are little bugs in it, a bunch of pests. I had to throw it out. So usually it looks greener than this. So when I eat at home, I minimize the sugar and the salt as much as I can. I also have Greek yogurt in the fridge as a snack. No additional sugar either. I'm quite full. I definitely have to finish this pork bun because it is so yummy. But I also like this steamed bread and this. And I like mostly this. I'm not a huge fan of the shumai. I've had shumai many times before at dim sum restaurants. This one tastes pretty standard. This roll as well is okay. The pork bun is good and it's a signature of Tim Ho Wan, but oh, I really love this jelly. It is sophisticated. Now, like once again, it's not my goal to finish every single thing today because I don't want to get sick like last time's mukbang. Due to, I think it's because of the dengue fever, my body is not 100% yet. I gotta do my laundry after this. Okay, I really want to work on this pomelo. Mango, what was it? Mango Sago Pomelo. So bold. So yellow. Maybe I could close the curtains and then put the lights on. Because everything looks like washed out right here, right? That's not too bad. You know, I like this dessert because there's that tanginess to it. I'm almost done with it. Woo! After I film this, I'm going to do the laundry and then I'm gonna go to the gym. But if I do laundry, my gym clothes will be wet. There's no dryer. People tend to use the washer and then hang their clothes dry here. So if I do laundry, then I can't go to the gym. Done. So I hope you enjoyed eating Tim Ho Wan with me. I'll catch you guys in the next mukbang. And then the next mukbang will be my final one I film in Bangkok. And then after that, I'll be back home. I know when I film my mukbang at home, my wall is plain. So I'm trying to think of some ideas on decorating my room. And I've seen so many beautiful things in Asia. I'm very inspired on, I mean, there's so many ways to decorate a room. Like, I just need to choose one theme and stick with it. Because if you go with one theme and then you're like, oh, I like this too and this concept, it just gets muddied and then it just looks like the room was decorated without any concept at all. So I'm gonna choose a concept, stay solid with it, and just commit. Don't forget to follow my Instagram at Miss Mina O for delicious selfies, and on Snapchat as well, Miss Mina O, for the latest, tastiest adventures. Bye bye!